What's going on, family? It is your man BMT. And as you guys can see today, I got my man Giamo in the building. He's been staying in the DR for what, 2 years?
It's 2 years now, yeah.
2 years, man. So I'm gonna ask him a few questions about living in the DR and how is everything and some differences between Sosua and some other cities on the island.
Okay, I'm ready.
Cool, man. So first off, let me ask you this: why the DR?
That's a good question. I would say, for me, unlike some other people, when I was 13, my family came here for vacation. I've had a long history with Dominican. So after I finished university, I finished at 26 years old. And so I was like, I could try to make it in the States, or I could try to do it here in Dominican Republic. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. Because when I first came here, I did not have a monetized YouTube channel. I was just teaching English and stuff like that. So, it wasn't like easy street, I was trying to figure it out. So I was just like, I've had good experiences here. So I'm going to try to make it work. And fortunately, it has more or less has. So yeah.
Nice. So you was in school in what city?
I went to Miami-Dade College.
Oh, so if you're in Miami, Spanish is pretty big out there, right?
Yeah, but I didn't use Spanish a lot when I was there because Miami. I lived in North Miami. Miami's a big place. So I lived in North Miami, and it was more like it's just a mixture of African Americans, Haitians, just a mixture. But most people speak English. But I didn't live like in Little Havana, where if you go there's people who don't know any English. There are people who have lived there for they're 10, 15 plus years, and they don't speak a lick of English. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't live in those parts, so I wasn't speaking Spanish all the time. But yeah. But Miami's a very diverse place with a lot of Spanish for sure.
Okay, so your Spanish improved vastly when you got here, or?
Vastly. Not really. A little. I have to peel back the layers a little bit. When I finished high school, actually, I moved to Santo Domingo with my mother and my brother, and so that's kind of where it started with the Spanish. And then after that, I was teaching English in Costa Rica. Also, I went to Peru. So with there, I started to learn more and more Spanish. And then eventually in Costa Rica, I had a girlfriend, and I was with her for 2 years. And just talking sometimes I was in Costa Rica, sometimes it was a long distance relationship, but talking every day with her built up pretty much the Spanish that I know today. So when I came back here after I was at Miami-Dade College, I just used the Spanish that I had already kind of built from there. I'm sure my Spanish fluency is kind of improved a little bit, but in general, I haven't gone levels up or anything. That's pretty much been just the same.
Okay. And as far as cities, do you still prefer living in Sosua versus? Now have you been around a little bit?
This is true. That's a very good question. I would say, for what I do, I prefer Sosua because I pretty much just make content. I teach English online and I do some other things online, but I primarily make content. So it's kind of like asking an actor, would you want to move out of Los Angeles? Because that's where a lot of those things, a lot of content can be made. You know what I mean? And and it's funny. Sometimes they ask me oh, Jamo, where do you meet all these girls? Well, I'm in Sosua. So they're all there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So there's that. But actually now I'm saving up and I'm building. I do want to buy an apartment here in Santo Domingo because I do. Even though I do like Sosua, but I do kind of want to get away, and because where I live, I bought the apartment there, and so I want to continue that same mold, and I want to buy an apartment here in Santo Domingo, just because I appreciate the city. People. It's just a different vibe, and I love Sosua, but I am kind of ready for a different vibe. So I would say that Sosua is great, but Santo Domingo is also very very positive.
Okay, so what's some of the major differences?
Major differences
of Sosua and
Santo Domingo?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like comparing apples and oranges. To be honest with you, because Sosua is a small beach town. You know what I'm saying? Santo Domingo is the capital of the capital city. So just geographically, size-wise, is a huge difference. But also, it's not only that. I would say that people-wise is different. In Sosua, people are trying to cater to you. People are, because that small town is based off tourism. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Santo Domingo, obviously there's a touristic element with Zona Colonial and the Malecon and things like that. But here there's just a wide variety of people. There's business people. There's, you know, just regular wives. I mean, when we come talk about women, there's just wives. You know, just there's a lot of regular things happening here in Santo Domingo that have nothing to do with tourism. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I do appreciate about Santo Domingo. This is more of kind of a regular life, and you're able to if you're able to find your way and navigate a system and a schedule, then it feels a lot. You just feel like you're really living abroad.
Nice. So let me ask you this: on the outside looking in, I know you hear all the news coming out of Colombia. You know, some of the drugging, the deaths, and everything.
Yes.
How do you look at that living out here? Is there anything in comparisons to that as far as crime, or it's pretty much not existent out here?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, there are crimes here. And I always tell guys that the biggest issues that you're going to have is related with communication as it relates to Dominican Republic. Because there are some guys, for example, they go to Sosua and, you know, they meet a girl, and whether they're kind of delusional and they think that she just likes him for him, or they don't talk about the price or anything like that. You know, by the end of whatever they're doing, you know, she'll be expecting something and like, oh, I thought it was just this. You know, I thought it was just for the 40, but you know, she wanted something. You know what I mean? So those are the biggest issues that people really. That's what the biggest issues a lot of guys run into. And then there are some women that now don't be dumb and just have like $10,000 out. You know, you can go take a shower because when you come back, she's gonna be gone, and that $10,000 is gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone too. But those are like the biggest things. But when I hear issues, I have been to Cartagena once. I went like 2 months ago, and but the issues I have heard out of Colombia are, you know, it does make me kind of pause and think about, you know, do I really want to visit Colombia would I want to visit for an extended amount of time? Because the things you hear coming out of there is nothing compared to here in Dominican Republic. So, you know what I'm saying? So definitely outside looking in, it's definitely a cause for pause. And also just, I mean, the history, you know, I think they say history repeats itself. So, I mean, because I don't want to get, you know, I'm not trying to throw stereotypes, but obviously we know Pablo Escobar, drug-related history, Griselda, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So the fact that, you know, obviously they're not there anymore, but the fact that residue is still in Medellin possibly, it's like, oh, you know, maybe, you know, maybe not the best place to go.
Now, you know, I think that when a lot of Americans hear about, like, you know, dating Dominican women, they kind of hear, like, have this 90-day fiance type of vibe to it, or at least understanding of it. And then a lot of Dominicans go back and forth to New York. So do you feel like, as far as dating, being American, women might date you here for ill intentions of maybe going back to America? Or do you feel like it's more genuine here in San Domingo versus, you know, Sosua, where things is a little bit more transactional?
I feel. I would say there's definitely elements of that here. There's definitely there's a reason why there's 90-day fiance. That's a real thing. Yeah. There's definitely opportunities here, but I think that as a guy, if you go into dating leading with your wallet, you know, those are the type of situations, you know what I mean, that you might find yourself in. You know what I mean? Now, if you go into it just being authentic, being real, then you will attract women who are attracted to kind of that authenticity. You know what I mean? So I think it's just, like I said, dating here, you can, especially in Santo Domingo, you can definitely find good women here. You can find traditional women, loyal women, I'll even say. But it just depends on, as the guy, you have to ask yourself, are you ready for that? And how are you kind of leading yourself out in the dating market? You know what I mean? But at the same time, you can possibly be authentic and meet a girl who's just an opportunist. That's still possible too, but you just have to really know kind of yourself and how you're going out.
Okay. And let's talk about a little bit about your YouTube channel, man.
Okay.
So your YouTube channel, I would say check out kind of fast, right? What kind of inspired you to do type of content because your content is very informative. It's like an interview with the girls, but it's like an interview / blog. Did you follow somebody else's concept or format, or you just kind of just came up with it?
No, I appreciate that. I would say, definitely. I was inspired by like I Am Marwa, for example. Who else? I Am Marwa. I saw some of Ace Live's stuff, and this was when I was at Miami-Dade College. So when I was at Miami-Dade College, I was studying film production there, and so I was watching some of I Am Marwa, some of Ace Live's, and some of their type of content. So and, you know, I really appreciate those guys and what they do, but they're definitely more extroverted than I am. Like they just talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. Personally, I prefer to do kind of like just not sit down, but like do more like concentrated content where like okay. Like everybody knows what's about to happen, so type of situation. And that's probably because I study film production and whatnot. But definitely I've always wanted to be informative. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I think it's the combination of entertainment value plus the information. I think creates a good channel. I think for most people that's what people enjoy when they're watching travel videos. They want to visually be entertained, but also informationally learn something as well. So
okay, and Dominican Republic, of course, shares a border with Haiti.
Yes.
Is India news? Because we know that Haiti, is going through their problems and everything. Is there any fear on this island of maybe a clash or anything? Or it's not really talked about like that.
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like
I know you went a little to the political one.
Yeah. It's funny because they had the vote. They had the presidential vote just the other day. But I don't know. I won't say there's a clash. I mean, I feel like there's a clash every day. In the sense of that, there are Haitians. There are a lot of Haitians here in Dominican Republic. A lot of Dominicans. I don't want to say a lot of Dominicans. But I want to say, I'm not talking about Dominican people, but there is like a Dominican force, like an immigration force that do take out illegals and deport them and whatnot. So that's a whole struggle. And
it's crazy. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
It's just crazy. Like you would be riding, you would see a bus, which is like a cage full of black guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And have you seen that?
I have. Yeah.
And it's just kind of like.
It's wild, it's wild. But and that's something that's definitely real. And I will say, for those who are, this sounds kind of funny, or maybe, not funny, but this is just real. If you are a darker brother, definitely always carry some sort of identification with you, because if you look Haitian, which some people, what do you mean by look Haitian? But just if you stereotypically look Haitian, sometimes people will stop you. And if you don't have your ID, they might put you on some of those trucks.
Because they don't know that some of the Haitians speak perfect English.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
so it's a real thing. But in general, though, I don't think there's gonna be like any like civil wars or something. I don't really think that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna get to that point. But like I said, there are clashes here every day. One thing I will say though, for those who are like content creators, and if you plan on staying here on the island, for an extended amount of time, I really wouldn't get too deep into that topic, because that's a very sensitive topic for a lot of Dominicans.
It really is.
Yeah. So you might get, because I know. Have you heard of Kurt Cos before?
I have.
I think he got kicked out of Dominican because he was making some videos about the border and whatnot. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that he mentioned that. So if you're trying to make content here in the DR for the long haul, that's maybe one topic that
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think even Amar got into it.
Yeah, he did.
With some,
and which that goes back to obviously he's Kenyan. He's a Kenyan brother, but people talk about profiling in the States, but there's profile also here, so that happens. So.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any issues, but sometimes the police might ask me what time it is. I'll be like, you don't know what time it is, you're a police officer. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they're trying to see if I'm Haitian or not.
Or they're just trying to bribe you or something.
Yeah, that's probably more what it is. That's probably more what it is.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. But like I said, I enjoy living here, bro. I came here to be here just a month. And I know Charlie May kept telling me, man, Santo Domingo's nice. Santo Domingo's nice. And I just couldn't.
Picture it.
I couldn't picture it because I'm just like, man, they are crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always going to Sosua. But now that I'm here, I'm like, yo, Santo Domingo is dope.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. And one thing, because we talk about, like, I don't want to say politics, but one thing I will say is that unlike some other countries like Mexico and some other countries, I always ask actually yesterday I was talking to a girl and I asked how do you feel about foreigners coming here and buying land and I mean I hate to use this word, but kind of like gentrifying the country to an extent. But anytime I ask a Dominican that question, they're always like, we appreciate foreigners coming here. Like I've never had that conversation I don't want foreigners here, they're taking up all the land. Now, will that conversation change in the future? I don't know, but up to this point, I've never met a Dominican that was upset or angry that Americans or Canadians or foreigners were coming here and buying land and doing those type of businesses. So
which is kind of like the polar opposite of what's going on in Medellin to a certain degree. They have "Gringo Go Home" signs in Medellin.
Yeah.
Talking about they're gentrifying everything. Here, I think that most Dominicans in Santo Domingo live in Este or Norte or something like that. You know, like this area right here is expensive, bro.
Yeah, no, oh yeah.
The area that we live in is expensive.
Distrito Nacional is definitely expensive. Yeah, I would say, and also I think that one dynamic that is interesting, but because Dominican Republic is so close to the United States, is that you have a lot of Dominicans that I mean, obviously they want to buy property here and stuff like that too, but a lot of Dominicans that have aspirations of going to New York or going to Boston. So there is a very interesting dynamic compared to maybe in South America or in Mexico or something like that. So.
Right, they got a direct line to America. Like literally the communication. I ask Dominicans all the time, like, "Tienes familia in Estados Unidos?" And they be like, "Yeah, you know, cousin, tia, auntie."
But one thing I'll say, if you say United States, New York is like United States for a lot of them. If you say United States, we're like, "Oh, where are you from in New York?" I'm like, I haven't been to New York. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But
today, somebody was like, "Oh, you from Brooklyn?" I'm like, "No, I'm not from Brooklyn, bro."
Yeah.
He's like, "Is Brooklyn dangerous?" I was like, "I think so. I don't know. I've been through Brooklyn. I never really just get it." But one thing I can say about here is the people in Santo Domingo are really cool and laid back.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the people here. You know, I haven't really came across any rudeness or anything like that per se.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pretty cool, and it's a lot of women that are still interested, no matter what the reasons are.
Yeah.
In Americans.
No, for sure, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Like I said, when it comes to dating, obviously, if you're looking for something specific as it relates to like long-term relationship, obviously it's going to be more challenging. But you should expect that to be more challenging. But just dating across the board, whether it be for long-term, short-term, just having fun, whatever, you can definitely find that here, particularly in San Domingo and across the Dominican Republic for sure.
Yeah, and what's the best? Because you've been to a lot of beaches on your
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, what's the best beach out here that
the
people
best beach?
Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting question. I would say that in terms of like vacation-esque, let's take a long walk across the beach. I would say Las Terrenas.
That's what the Uber driver just told me.
Yeah. I would say Las Terrenas is very nice. It's very clean. Very not a lot. I mean. The thing is that there are, people that go to the beach, but because the beaches are so long, there are stretches of the beach where you feel like you're just by yourself because it's so long. Now, obviously in Sosua, the beaches are very nice.
Very nice.
But they're kind of like encaved by some of those rocks or whatever. So they're kind of shorter. So it's not like you can just take like long walks across the beach. And also, this is a lot of people, so it feels like but it's still beautiful. But like I said, if you want very picturesque, vacation-esque type of beaches, I would recommend Las Terrenas and Samaná and those places.
Sure. Well, bro, I don't got too many more questions for you, man. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, for sure.
And giving my audience all this dope information, bro. Until next time, man.
No, for sure. I appreciate coming on, and yeah.
All right, you want to shout out the channel before you go?
Oh, shout out the channel. Yeah, guys. So check out my channel. Is Jamo Jackson Carter. And get some information about Dominican Republic and also some stuff about Colombia. I've been to Colombia as well. So
Excellent. Peace.